Okay, I assume you've read the problem and worked it on your own. Let's go over the key. So the first thing, write an equation for the tangent line. So we've already given x and y, and we're already given the slope. So this should be a really easy problem. So let's take dy dx and evaluate at the point negative 1, 1. So if I plug that in, I get 1 over 3 times 1 squared minus negative 1. Should give me 1/4. Okay, so my tangent line is y minus 1. 1/4 x minus negative 1. Now remember we talked about this. All you need to do is take that over. Don't simplify, because if you make a tiny error in your simplification, you've lost points. That is an easy 2 points right there. Okay, part B. Find the coordinates which the line tangent to the curve at that point is vertical. Okay, well if I have a vertical line, that means the slope is undefined, which means the denominator equals 0, right? If the slope is undefined, which means x equals 3y squared. And that's kind of the hard part. A lot of people get that part, but don't know where to go from there. That will give you one point. Okay? But now what we need to do is we have the equation, and we now know a substitution. So I'm going to substitute in for x into my equation. So I have y cubed minus 3y squared y equals 2. So I get y cubed minus 3y cubed equals 2. And I have 2y cubed equals 2. Y cubed equals negative 1. So y equals negative 1. Now, that will get you another point. But it said find all points. We only have y. So what we need to do is, once again, go back into my equation, and I now know y. So I'm going to plug negative 1 into my equation. So I'll get negative 1 plus x equals 2. X equals 3. So I have the point 3, negative 1. So part B was worth 3 points. One for this relationship, one for finding your y, one for finding your point. Right, part C, find the second derivative and evaluate. So this should be another one where just watch your little mistakes, but we should know what we're doing here. So if I find the second derivative, let's go ahead and do the quotient rule, which says the bottom times the derivative of the top, which is just y prime, minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, all over the bottom squared. Okay, now don't waste your time cleaning this up. We have all this information already. We're going to go ahead and plug in. We're evaluating at the point negative 1, 1. So when I plug that in, I get 3 times 1 squared minus negative 1. And that's all times y prime. But remember, in part A, we already found y prime evaluated at that point. So don't waste your time doing it again. That was 1/4. Minus 1 times 6 times 1/4 minus 1 all over 3 plus 1 squared. So let's see, that will give me 4 times 1/4, which is 1. So that gives me 3/2 minus 1 is 1/2. I have minus 1/2 over 16, which gives me 1/2 over 16, which is 1 over 32. And that was a whopping 4 points. Can you believe that? 4 points. One for actually just finding the second derivative. You didn't even need to clean up. One for plugging in the correct values for the derivative especially. And 1 point for the actual answer.